Have you ever felt your heart racing after a sleepless night? Or noticed that you get tired more easily, even after just a few minutes of walking? That could be a sign your heart is being silently attacked every day, and you might not even realize it. It sounds alarming, but thousands of seniors in the U.S., even those who don't smoke or have no diagnosed heart disease, still suffer from high blood pressure, heart failure, or even sudden strokes, all because of seemingly harmless daily habits. According to the American Heart Association, nearly 70% of adults over 60 have at least one form of cardiovascular disorder, yet only about 35% know the root cause lies in their everyday routines. And one of those habits alone can increase your heart attack risk by 200%. Most people think of medications, heart surgeries, or intense workouts when they hear heart health. However, the truth is that 8 simple daily habits, if adjusted correctly, can naturally protect your heart without expensive treatments or invasive procedures. These 8 habits are ranked from least to most dangerous, supported by scientific research, expert advice, and practical solutions that anyone over 60 can implement today. Watch this video till the end, because one small change could save your aging heart. Now, let's begin with habit number 8. Habit number 8, skipping breakfast. I'm not hungry in the morning, so I usually skip breakfast. But the saying breakfast is the most important meal of the day is especially true for older adults. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that people who regularly skip breakfast have an 87% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who eat breakfast consistently. Why does skipping breakfast affect heart health? When you skip your morning meal, your body enters a state of metabolic stress. This raises cortisol levels, increases blood pressure, causes your blood vessels to constrict, and leads to irregular heart rhythms. Worse, skipping breakfast can result in unstable blood sugar levels, causing a sharp insulin spike at lunchtime, a major risk factor for arterial plaque buildup, atherosclerosis. A 2019 long-term study involving over 6,500 Americans across 2 decades confirmed this. Those who skipped breakfast faced an 87% increased risk of cardiovascular death compared to regular breakfast eaters. Another report from the American Heart Association showed that eating breakfast regularly helps lower blood pressure, reduce LDL cholesterol, and maintain a healthy weight, all of which are crucial for heart protection. That's why cardiologists recommend that adults over 60 should not skip breakfast, unless under clear medical advice. Instead, aim for a heart-healthy breakfast that's low in sugar, high in protein, and rich in fiber, such as oatmeal with chia seeds, boiled eggs with avocado and whole grain toast, vegetable smoothies with unsweetened plant-based milk, and Greek yogurt with healthy fats from flax seeds and avocado. Remember that skipping breakfast won't help you lose weight. It just tires your heart out more each day. Habit number 7, drinking alcohol. Daily or in excess. 1 glass of wine a night is good for your heart, right? You've probably heard that before. But the truth is, dosage and frequency are the real key factors. According to the American Heart Association, AHA, older adults who drink alcohol daily or consume too much in one sitting face a higher risk of high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, and stroke, 3 major threats that can weaken the heart quickly. A large-scale study of over 14,000 people aged 65 and above found that drinking more than 7 alcoholic drinks per week increases the risk of cardiovascular death by 22%. Journal of the American Geriatric Society, 2020. As we age, the liver's ability to metabolize alcohol slows down by up to 30%, allowing alcohol to stay in the bloodstream longer, putting additional stress on the cardiovascular system. This issue becomes even more dangerous in seniors, as alcohol-induced heart rhythm disorders, especially atrial fibrillation, are more common with age and can raise the risk of stroke by 5 times. Furthermore, alcohol disrupts deep sleep quality, which is essential for lowering nighttime blood pressure and repairing heart muscle. According to cardiologists, men over 65 should limit alcohol intake to 1 drink per day, and women should consume no more than 0.5 to 1 drink per day, assuming no underlying health conditions. Instead of an evening drink, consider heart-friendly alternatives like chamomile tea or jujube tea to help dilate blood vessels, or pomegranate juice, which is rich in antioxidants, or a warm glass of water with a slice of ginger, known to support healthy blood circulation. After age 60, your heart needs recovery, not daily stimulation. Sometimes that just 1 drink for fun may come with a heavy price later, especially if it becomes a habit. 6. Uncontrolled chronic stress. Have you ever felt your heart race when you're anxious? That's no coincidence. It's your body reacting to stress, a silent but dangerous threat. This is the classic sign of chronic stress, what I call the silent heart killer in seniors. After age 60, stress is no longer just a mood issue. It becomes a cardiovascular risk factor. According to the American Heart Association, chronic stress elevates cortisol and adrenaline, 2 hormones that increase blood pressure, constrict blood vessels, and trigger vascular inflammation, early steps toward atherosclerosis. A 20-year study by the Harvard School of Public Health found that seniors who lived with prolonged emotional stress had up to a 27% higher risk of heart attacks, nearly 3 times more than the control group. Elevated cortisol levels over time damage the inner lining of blood vessels, promote systemic inflammation, raise blood pressure, and accelerate arterial plaque buildup. Unfortunately, signs of stress in seniors are often dismissed, such as insomnia, especially waking at 2-3 a.m., irritability, prolonged anxiety, poor concentration, irregular eating habits, persistent heart fatigue, or shortness of breath. When you're stressed, your heart beats faster, blood pressure spikes, and your heart works overtime. This is especially dangerous for seniors, whose arteries are stiffer and blood pressure regulation is weaker. After 60, your cardiovascular system loses flexibility, and recovery from stress-induced hypertension becomes slower. Chronic stress also weakens your immune system and fuels low-grade inflammation in blood vessels, compounding the damage over time. Here are some doctor-recommended tips to protect your heart from chronic stress. Spend 10 minutes daily doing the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This proven method lowers blood pressure and stabilizes heart rhythm. Take a 15-minute morning walk outdoors. Natural sunlight helps regulate stress hormones. Try a gratitude journal. Write down 3 positive things each morning. This shifts your brain from an alert state to a calm one. According to the Journal of Aging and Health, simply writing them down reduces stress by 40%. Avoid watching negative news, especially at night. Seniors process stress more slowly, which can lead to lingering anxiety that disrupts sleep. Chronic stress doesn't just wear you out, it wears your heart down day by day. What you need after 60 isn't to carry the weight of the world, but to find peace in every heartbeat. Your heart isn't weak. Your mind is making it work twice as hard. Learning to relax isn't a luxury. It's part of your natural heart remedy. 5. Too much sitting, too little movement. How many hours a day do you spend sitting? In front of the TV, on the sofa, in the car, or simply resting? What seems harmless is silently damaging your heart health. Even if you exercise in the morning, sitting for more than 8 hours a day can nearly double your risk of heart disease. According to the CDC, Americans over 60 spend an average of more than 9 hours sitting daily, which increases the risk of cardiovascular disease by 147%, raises the chance of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes, and significantly reduces blood circulation, especially in the legs, leading to a higher risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT. A 2020 study from the Mayo Clinic revealed that sitting more than 6 hours per day can reduce your cardiovascular lifespan by up to 5 years, regardless of whether you exercise. This is known as the sedentary death trap. Why? Because prolonged sitting slows your heart rate, weakens blood flow, and causes your leg muscles to stop contracting, allowing blood to pool in the lower limbs. This leads to a higher risk of stroke, heart disease, insulin resistance, elevated blood sugar, and increased oxidative stress. The good news is that this habit has been improved, simple yet surprisingly effective, by standing up and walking around for 3 minutes every 30 minutes of sitting, doing a few light leg exercises while seated, like ankle circles, heel lifts, and thigh squeezes, or taking a 15 to 20-minute walk each morning, which can reduce heart disease risk by 35%, according to the American Heart Association, 2021. Or using everyday opportunities to move, light cleaning, gardening, taking stairs instead of the elevator. Too much sitting is draining your heart's vitality. You don't need intense workouts. Just don't let your body stay still for too long. Set a timer every 30 minutes, stand up, stretch, and let your heart breathe. 4. Eating too much red meat and saturated fat. A juicy steak, a few slices of crispy bacon, sounds delicious, right? But if you're consuming them regularly each week, especially after age 60, you may be feeding a silent cholesterol time bomb that slowly erodes your blood vessels every day. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, people who eat more than 5 servings of red meat per week have a 20% higher risk of heart disease compared to those who eat it less than once a week. The American Heart Association also warns that individuals who consume more than 2% of their daily calories from trans fat increase their heart disease risk by up to 23%. Trans fat is commonly found in margarine, fried foods, packaged pastries, and fast food, convenient items still widely consumed by older adults. Additionally, high LDL cholesterol levels can clog arteries and significantly raise the risk of heart attacks and stroke. A study from the Framingham Heart Study found that every 10 mg/dL increase in LDL cholesterol raises heart disease risk by 12%, particularly among those over 60. In contrast, a diet rich in healthy fats, such as omega-3 from salmon, walnuts, and extra virgin olive oil, can reduce the risk of dying from heart disease by 25%, according to the Lancet, 2021. This is the foundation of the heart-healthy diet I often recommend to my senior patients. Why is red meat dangerous for your heart? Red meat and animal fat are high in saturated fat, the type that raises LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. Elevated LDL leads to plaque buildup in arteries, which is the main cause of arterial blockage and stroke. Furthermore, carnitine in red meat, when digested, produces TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide, a compound linked to increased cardiovascular risk, as shown by the Cleveland Clinic. So, instead of red meat, choose fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, rich in omega-3, which reduces inflammation and lowers cholesterol. Replace animal fats with olive oil, avocados, and walnuts. Use plant-based proteins like lentils, soybeans, and chia seeds. This doesn't mean you must completely avoid red meat. Just limit it to under 12 O's, about 350 g per week. Opt for lean cuts, and avoid frying. Always read food labels carefully and avoid products containing partially hydrogenated oils, a hidden term for trans fat. Prioritize home-cooked meals using unsaturated fats instead of animal fats, and combine them with cholesterol-lowering foods like oats, soy, and flax seeds. By simply changing the type of fat you consume daily, you're lifting decades of pressure off your heart. And remember, red meat isn't evil, but too much of it quietly endangers your heart and shortens your lifespan. 3. Poor sleep or interrupted sleep. Do you often wake up around 2 to 3 a.m. and can't fall back asleep, or sleep less than 6 hours a night? If your answer is yes, your heart health may be deteriorating silently, night after night, without you even realizing it. A large-scale study by the European Heart Journal, 2020, involving over 116,000 participants from 7 countries, found that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night have a 20 to 24% higher risk of coronary heart disease and a 29% higher risk of stroke compared to those who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Why does sleep deprivation affect the heart? Lack of sleep raises cortisol levels, the stress hormone, which causes vasoconstriction, elevated blood pressure, and overactivates the sympathetic nervous system, forcing the heart to work harder day and night. It also increases insulin resistance and promotes chronic inflammation, two major contributors to arterial plaque buildup and atherosclerosis. For people over 60, conditions like sleep apnea, pauses in breathing during sleep, further worsen the risks of arrhythmia and congestive heart failure. When you sleep, the body naturally produces nitric oxide, a compound that helps relax blood vessels, stabilize blood pressure, and reduce inflammation inside artery walls. Another finding from the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, NHLBI, revealed that older adults with disrupted or poor quality sleep have a 1.7x higher risk of hypertension and are twice as likely to experience major cardiovascular events. Many seniors assume that sleeping less comes with age. In reality, this could be an early warning sign of sleep disorders, melatonin imbalance, or undiagnosed sleep apnea, a silent but dangerous cardiovascular risk factor. So, start by maintaining a consistent sleep-wake schedule, even on weekends. Avoid screen time and blue light exposure at least 1 hour before bed, especially after 8 p.m., as it disrupts your circadian rhythm and can negatively affect your heart rate during sleep. Reduce caffeine intake after 2 p.m., and instead try relaxation techniques such as meditation, light reading, or soft music before bedtime. If you snore loudly, frequently wake up at night, or have trouble breathing during sleep, get evaluated for sleep apnea immediately. It's more common in people over 60 than most realize. Sleep is free medicine for your heart. For seniors, getting enough sleep doesn't just strengthen the heart. It also improves memory, regulates blood sugar, and increases longevity. Treat your sleep hygiene the same way you treat your heart medications, consistently, seriously, and without skipping a day. 2. Not getting regular heart checkups. Did you know that over 50% of first heart attacks occur without any warning symptoms? That's a statistic from the American Heart Association. This means your first heart attack could also be your last. Unlike a toothache or viral fever, heart disease develops silently over many years, often with no noticeable signs. High blood pressure, arterial plaque, and atrial fibrillation can exist for decades before they suddenly lead to a heart attack, stroke, or heart failure. According to the CDC, more than 805,000 Americans have a heart attack every year, and 1 in 5 show no symptoms at all. That's roughly 160,000 people only discovering their condition when it's too late. After age 60, blood vessels lose elasticity, making them prone to atherosclerosis. Your body's ability to regulate blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart rate naturally declines. Chronic conditions like diabetes, obesity, long-term stress, and a sedentary lifestyle take a toll on your heart over the years. Even seemingly unrelated issues like thyroid disorders or mild anemia can negatively impact your cardiovascular health without you realizing it. That's why it's essential to schedule routine heart screenings twice a year, including blood pressure checks, cholesterol, triglycerides, blood glucose tests, electrocardiograms, ECG, and echocardiograms every 1 to 2 years. If you have a personal or family history of stroke or heart disease, a coronary artery calcium CT scan can detect early plaque buildup. Don't forget to ask your doctor about CRP levels, a marker of hidden cardiovascular inflammation. If you're over 60 and haven't had a heart checkup in the past 12 months, consider this your gentle reminder. Taking the initiative for one exam could give you 10 more years of healthy life and save you tens of thousands of dollars in future medical bills. 1. Eating too much salt. Salt may make your food taste better, but it's silently eroding your heart every day. If I could give just one piece of advice to seniors to prevent strokes, it would be this. Cut back on salt immediately. The American Heart Association, AHA, recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for those at risk of heart disease. That's less than 1 teaspoon of salt. However, according to the CDC, 9 out of 10 Americans consume an average of 3,400 millimoles of sodium daily, nearly twice the recommended limit. This is especially dangerous for those over 60, as the aging body becomes less efficient at regulating sodium levels. Salt and high blood pressure, a dangerous connection. A 2021 study in the Lancet found that for every additional 1 g of salt consumed per day, the risk of hypertension increases by 23%. High blood pressure is the leading risk factor for heart failure, heart attacks, and strokes. Seniors are especially vulnerable to salt overload without realizing it. Diminished taste sensitivity leads many older adults to unintentionally use more salt. Moreover, processed foods such as sausages, canned goods, soy sauce, bread, and even breakfast cereals are loaded with hidden sodium. For those on diuretics or heart medications, sodium imbalances can be even more harmful. So, here's how to detox your heart from salt. Cook more meals at home with less salt, using herbs and spices like garlic, pepper, and fresh herbs instead. Read nutrition labels carefully. Avoid foods with more than 200 millimoles of sodium per serving. Stay hydrated and eat potassium-rich foods like leafy greens, bananas, and sweet potatoes to help balance sodium. Most importantly, check your blood pressure regularly, even if you feel fine. You may not feel the salt, but your heart does. A large 2022 study in China, NEJM, showed that reducing salt not only lowers blood pressure, but also cuts cardiovascular death risk by up to 30%. You've just heard 8 habits, from minor to severe, that are silently affecting millions of hearts over age 60. So, which of these habits are you currently struggling with? And have you ever overcome stress or high blood pressure naturally? I read every comment and will personally respond in detail. Your heart doesn't beat by your age. It beats by the lifestyle you choose every day. Your heart has already beaten more than 2.5 billion times in your lifetime. It's been working hard for you. Now it's your turn to take care of it with simple daily choices. And I believe you can do it. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, especially those over 60, to help them reduce stroke risk naturally. See you in the next video.